a lot of people think that your employees work for you, but you work for them. So, and that resonates a lot, and there's a lot of team players in our company, and they see the vision with us, and they see the potential for the growth of the company. And we, need to keep going in order to also help them meet that vision and to help them gain their skills and challenge themselves every day. So
one of the most important things as a employer is figuring out what strengths your employees have.
Yep.
And then setting them up for success and getting out of their way. Hello, everybody. This is the Winning in Winnipeg podcast, where I talk to top performing business owners, executives, entrepreneurs, and local Winnipeg celebrities. I get to learn who they are and how they think, and I get to hear their perspective about what's really going on in Winnipeg and their businesses. Today, I have Cristina and Sambath San, the owners of 6 Photobooth. For 6 years, this husband and wife duo have been providing photo booth services to pretty much every event known to Winnipeg. We're going to dive into how the business started, what it's like to operate a family-run business, and the ups and downs along the way, and where they see the opportunities in the industry. Cristina and Sam, thanks for being here.
Thank you. That was a really good intro.
I worked on it for a long time. I hope I didn't skewer anything too much.
No, that's way better than we've ever done it before. So that's actually
it's good. So I've never met you guys. Very happy to have you on. Now it's a pretty neat business what you guys are doing. It's I'll let you tell me how relatively new or old it is. But so for anyone listening, let's start off. If you could just first dive into who you are and a little background about yourselves.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So we are husband and wife. We've been working on the business. I think we started back in 2016 was the first event that we actually had that we did. And that was mainly, it kind of started as just a little side hustle. I was working a full-time job.
What were you doing?
I was working at Costco, changing tires.
Yeah.
For, I think 5 years I started in the front end, and then 5 years doing tires. Yeah. It was a good place to work. I learned a lot of things from just working my way into different departments, because a lot of the training that goes into the positions that we did really I kind of took into the business and just helped me kind of build it and take it like a lot of like the things I learned, like managing and the way they worked, I kind of implemented into the business too. So
was there any management training? Is there stuff like is there something
there is, because like they do a lot of hiring from within. So they like management that knows how everything works, knows the culture of the business, and then they like hiring from within the company instead of hiring out. This kind of started as a side hustle. We just wanted to make some extra cash on the side and go on a nice trip every year. But it's kind of grown into something a lot bigger than we ever expected. And
we're going to dive deeper into it. Cristina, if you could give me a little bit about your background and your story.
Yeah, so I'm actually a teacher by trade. I went into education straight out of high school. That was what I wanted to do. Did that for about 10 years or so.
Well, great.
I taught music for a little bit, and then I went into resource, which was very, very different. And while I enjoyed it, at the end of the day, it just wasn't filling my bucket the way I wanted it to. Lots of high stress and high pressure, and couldn't see myself doing it for forever, really. And then we when Sambath decided to start a photo booth business, he kind of, just sprung it on me one day and said, I think I want to start a photo booth business. And he had dabbled. Like husbands do, right? And he had dabbled in a couple of things before that. And this was the one I felt at the time could really take off because he was very creative in his photography and
not really. I mean, when I brought it up,
photography before this.
Yeah, I was dabbling. I just wanted to learn how to use a camera, take photos, and I've assisted on like some weddings. Did some headshots for friends, just to kind of dabble. But there wasn't anything that I kind of that really resonated with me. I wasn't really into weddings, so we tried that. But and then I brought it up to her. I saw a photo booth at a wedding that we were shooting, and I just said like, I could probably do this a lot better. Like the setup wasn't the best, the process, the everything that I knew I could do better. Right. Like, I really believed like, hey, this is something I could just really fix. And it was just like low hanging fruit, I guess. So I was like, we should try this. And then I kind of brought it up to her, and she wasn't really a big fan at first.
Yeah.
Because she was really hesitant because I've been dabbling in so many things and they just never really progressed or really worked out. But somehow this thing just kind of.
Yeah, I think I saw the potential just because it was photography based. Mm-hmm. I was a bit hesitant, that's for sure. But
how long did it take you to get on board?
Well, not very long, because once we gained traction, I thought, okay, this is actually going somewhere. So like Sam said, it started as a side hustle, eventually became part-time. And I think I was actually the one that pushed a little bit for him to take it full time. Mm-hmm. When that moment happened, he was the one that was a little bit more nervous about it. Obviously giving up a steady paycheck and all of that is very difficult and challenging. Yeah. So yeah, I think at that point we just said, what do we have to lose? Like, let's just try this and see what happens. I was still teaching at the time, so we had that to fall back on too.
We had Nico.
We had Nico at the time.
He was about
he was
4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah. So you took it full time, and then that was about less than a year before COVID.
Right.
It's about 6 months before COVID. Yeah. And then
the world came crashing down.
And it was like
we were the first industry to shut down, last to pick up.
Yep.
So that was about 2 years of, a big challenge, a big struggle.
Self-doubt, just what are we going to do now? Like, I guess, do I need to do the walk of shame back to Costco? It's like, I don't know. It was a tough time because
so with Eventual, what did you do? Event shut down. They really just
we couldn't work with the business. So what we kind of did things where people were trying to take things virtually. Mm-hmm. Zoom helped a lot. So it was funny. We do you remember like the craze with like Clubhouse?
Yes.
Yeah. So we kind of got into that when we were listening to people from around the world talking about things, about events. And she happened to be in a group or a Clubhouse where they were talking about virtual events and how they were adjusting to that and using like things like technology like Zoom, or even building out what are those, like the metaverse, doing events out there. So we were able to, I don't know how you met this person on there.
Yeah, I think it just came about through like a conversation in one of these Clubhouse meetings. And we ended up doing like a virtual event in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was actually kind of cool. But, like the whole virtual thing, it was great at the time, sustained us for a little bit. But like our passion is to be, in person, delivering
with people,
delivering like an amazing experience, which is what we had set out to do from the beginning. So you can imagine we have to do everything, kind of behind closed doors now, and it just not really working out, not really being our business model. So, I mean, it worked for the time, but I think anybody who was in the events industry at the time knew it wasn't going to be like sustainable long term, right? And then after that, I guess it was about 2022, really, like spring of May 2022, when things really came back.
With a vengeance.
And everybody was wanting to get married again and have their events. And there was still some hesitation, but 2022 was, a big year. We surpassed a lot of our goals in about 6 months just because it was so busy.
Yeah.
And 2023 has been amazing so far. And we're just gearing up for whatever's next, but a lot of hard work and hustle.
Okay, so let's dive into 6 Degrees. Where does the name come from?
So are you familiar with like 6 degrees of separation? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was basically that concept where I just thought Winnipeg was such a big, small city where everybody is kind of connected with each other. So it was kind of a play on that where, everybody knows each other. They're separated by 6 degrees of separation or less. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I want our photo booth to be something that people come to and come together and have fun and just get to know each other. Or like if you're at a wedding and you just met this person, like a photo booth is a great way to like break the ice and, kind of loosen everybody up because they're just having a good time in there. So that's kind of the concept. Like, get that. Yeah. So,
okay. Probably the most important question that I'm going to ask is, so you're married before it started. Mm-hmm. You're still married right now.
Yeah.
What is it like starting a business together and then operating a business?
Mm-hmm. So we're coming up to 15 years of being married next month, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It really is like 50%
and
a divorce, right? So
I mean, it's not easy. We didn't really plan for this. We didn't know how it would go exactly, but I think the best way we can describe it when people are asking us, how does it work, when you're married and trying to run a business together?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it comes down to Sam being great at what he does in the business and myself doing what I'm strong in the business. So we basically take our strengths.
Okay. Which is what? Sorry.
Yes.
Let's break that down a little bit.
I do I work most of the events. Okay. On the event side, I also am more knowledgeable with like the technology, the camera, setting up the booths, learning about the software and like the graphic design. So those are kind of my strengths that I like to utilize and kind of get better at. But like I say like the admin side, the connecting with people, clients, sending out contracts, a lot of the back end stuff is something I hate doing because I don't plan. I'm not a planner.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
it's she kind of keeps me in check, really. It's like what I need to do.
Yeah.
So.
And full transparency, I have never set up a photo booth before, ever. Yeah. I don't even know where to start. I don't want to learn how to do it because it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be involved in that. But I think,
just recognizing our strengths and weaknesses and then just delegating whatever needs to be.
But I think what we do really well together is, the creative aspect and the vision behind the business. Like for the most part, we agree on everything. We kind of see eye to eye on that.
Yeah.
And if we don't, and it's happened, I'm sure it'll happen again. We just, try and hear each other out and see what we can do.
Yeah,
just
a
like
lot of
anything,
the
right?
disagreements is we usually try to experiment with say, okay, let's talk it out. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, then let's try yours and that your way. But yeah, for the most part, we are pretty. We mutually agree on a lot of the big decisions anyway.
Yeah. I noticed you posted or reposted some of Layla Hormozi's stuff. They, I think, are phenomenal at sharing about their relationship, about the mindset of working with a partner and working through things.
Yeah.
And like if we don't agree on thing, we don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have to agree on it, and then or like eventually you have to agree. If one person just moves ahead and breaks the trust, and I really like the messages that they're putting out.
Yeah. And it's not for everybody, for sure. Like, a lot of friends and other people we know in business are like, I could never do that with my partner.
Yeah.
And that's fair, you know. It's not easy, but I feel more comfortable and more at ease that I'm working with my husband, just because I feel like I can be very open and honest and transparent about things. And I don't know if I could feel that way working with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
And I prefer it too. Like I just like having her by my side, making the big decisions. Cause like what you said, like if you have a business partner, like, and you don't have like that close relationship, it's just really hard to really say what you want, especially for me. I don't like getting into fights, or I'm very, I don't know what's the word of it. Like I don't like getting into
passive,
arguments and things like that. So it's just sometimes I don't say what it needs to be said because I just don't like getting into confrontations. So, but with us, it's just we know we love each other enough where it's like we get mad or we disagree on something. Eventually, we'll work it out.
Yeah. Growing up, were either of you entrepreneurial? Was there anything started as kids? Was there any doing this? I mean, quitting a job, other than I would have to say a lot of the content that's coming out, a lot of the messaging that's coming across, whether it's, Gary Vaynerchuk or, the Hormozis, about starting your own thing or following your passion or just like doing the work, right? Without that, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't take a big leap of faith on themselves and quit, a paycheck. And so I mean, you guys did it in stages, which is fantastic, especially when you have a family, right? But take me through the mindset and the decision to really just quit a paycheck and start something for yourself.
You want to start first? I mean,
we talk about this a lot. Obviously, when you start a business or take it through the different stages, you have a lot of self-doubt, and there's a lot of challenges that come up. But I think for the most part, we've always kind of believed that we could do it. And I think the fact that we took it into different stages and didn't go 100% in from the beginning did help us.
I always thought it would be cool to do something like when growing, like we were asking about our childhood, like growing up, I used to watch a lot of like those tech entrepreneurs on TV, just because I had a satellite TV and I didn't have the regular cable that my friends had, but we had access to a lot of channels that were from the States. And there was like this one tech channel that kept talking about like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and all those tech entrepreneurs at Silicon Valley. So I kind of grew up on watching that with my brother, and he was kind of influenced too, because he always wanted to start his little thing, but he was always dabbling in different things, coding, programming, building like robots. So it was kind of that influenced me a lot growing up, just seeing what he was doing. Because he was like one of the nerds, but like he was doing a lot of cool stuff that I found interesting, and that kind of helped shape who I was or who I've become. But in terms of having the courage to actually call quits, like I think a lot it might have been in the last 6 or 7 years when social media started getting really popular, with especially like Gary Vaynerchuk. He's been a really big influence on me kind of deciding what I wanted to do in life. You know, how he said he's more focused on being happy than on the happiness. That's like the end goal
versus monetary success.
Yeah.
We'll say,
so that I was watching a lot of his videos, his early videos, especially because that helped build like the confidence, and kind of a vision of what my life wanted, what I wanted my life to be.
Yeah.
Kind of build around that. And like if he said like, would you rather be happy making like 50 grand or miserable making like $1 million? So I didn't, obviously I would like to make it.
I'll take the happy. I'll take the happy in $1 million. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But yeah, like it was kind of like, what is the focus? Like, what is the priority first? And so I wanted to do something that, that was in a way creative, and that kind of pushed me to grow, be better, but also have the time to spend with our kids, family. I didn't want to be starting a business where I was always working. And this is kind of getting into that balance where, we get to be home Monday to Fridays. Most of the events happen on the weekends. But honestly, it doesn't feel like work a lot of times because we're being invited to things that, people pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars just to be a part of, and we get to be there.
Happy to be there,
and get paid for it. So it's something
pretty
that's
surreal sometimes.
Yeah.
And I would say for myself, like I didn't ever really think I would be an entrepreneur. I've always, I guess, kind of been like a leader in some ways. Teachers are very natural leaders. And I guess I just kind of followed that path. But once we started the business and we were like, realizing like, okay, we make the decisions. Like we decide when we want to work and not work. We get to decide how far we want to take this. Like there's, no limit. I think I started becoming very, very passionate about entrepreneurship at that point. I think it just all kind of gelled when we both started being on that same wavelength.
Yeah. Like we got to a point where like we were kind of more in control of kind of our destiny. So like the harder we work, we knew we could make more, or the less we work, it was really up to us. Like
it's my fault whether
I like
succeed,
if it fails or
if I
succeed,
fail,
it's up to me.
Yeah.
As opposed to, where before the photo booth business, I was dabbling in a lot of like stock market trading and doing all that. And it was just kind of, I just learned in the long run, it's out of my control. And I want something where we could actually have a way to build it and have a little bit of more control over it. There are things that may be out of our control, but it's just
work around it.
Yeah. Like,
and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So what has growth been? What does growth look like? I mean, you were building up your brand kind of on the side as a side hustle before COVID. COVID really slowed you down. What does growth look like from before COVID to 2022 to now 2023?
Well, yeah, I think when we first started, it was just a side project. And like I said, I wanted just to make some extra cash to go on a vacation or a nice trip every year.
Yeah.
But as it grew, it started to become something a lot bigger where
we weren't just working weekends. We were now starting to work like weekdays and weeknights and 2-day conferences as opposed to just like one event on the weekend. Like I think it grew in it scaled in terms of like the types of events we were doing. We were mostly doing weddings in the beginning and then eventually got a lot more into the corporate side of things and working with large brands and the sports teams in Winnipeg. So I think it grew in that sense. And now we've also been able to grow our team, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
it's-
we were ever thought that we'd want to bring in other people,
yeah,
hiring employees, but it's gotten
become
to that point where
necessary.
it's grown, where it become necessary, where I can't do it all anymore.
Yeah. Take me through that experience. What's it like hiring your first employee?
It's scary,
Yeah.
Like
really
we were-
scary. But I think you have to really listen to your gut and be very careful about who you're inviting into your world.
Do you feel that you're intuitive? Like,
Yes.
do you get a good feeling from them? What about you, Sam? Do you?
I have intuition, but I find that I trust easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too easily sometimes.
It's exactly where I was going with that. I find that females are incredibly intuitive. And they get good energy. They feel bad energy.
Yeah.
I'm the forever optimist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, why wouldn't this person do what they said that they were going to do? Sure, you're hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's led to being burnt.
But she's always been
times.
right, like most of the time.
Yeah.
Like when I was like, "Are
Well-
you sure?"
For that reason, I wish that my wife was like, I bring her into interviews too. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what's your read on him? She's like, oh.
Well, I think what we do, which I'm not sure what most employers do, but we first and foremost want to know that personality is there. The skill set, obviously, too, but we almost feel like that's secondary.
Yeah.
First and foremost, they have to be, well connected to us, connected to the team, very personable. And there's certain traits and qualities that we look for when we're bringing someone on board to work in the events industry.
And like
Yeah.
a willingness to learn too,
Non-negotiables.
just because
Yeah.
a lot of the things we're doing, we're just learning ourselves.
Yeah.
And going through a lot of the
The
ups
startup
and
stuff.
downs. Yeah. Like, because we don't really have anyone to kind of look up to in the city that's helping us, but we're turning more to like Facebook groups and talking to some of the other photo booth owners in different cities like LA that are kind of pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys connected with I don't know if there's anyone, whether it's a business coach or mentors in the industry that have kind of helped you out?
Yeah, I mean,
think so.
there's some for sure. And, just fellow business owners. That is something I would like to, in the near future is bring someone like a business coach into the business to see maybe what we're not seeing, in the day to day.
or like an operations manager.
Yeah,
something like that.
just someone who can kind of oversee the business as a whole. Because I'm sure there's things that we're not doing that we should be doing, or you get
You don't know what
so
you're
caught up.
very
in-
inefficient somewhere and we don't even realize it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Every time you deal with people, there's a possibility of stuff going not great, right? Depending on the event, the people, whatever, stuff
Yeah.
outside your control. Have you ever had a bad experience at an event?
We haven't had a lot of them. Most of the events that we've done have been very, very positive, very good. There's a few there's one event that the photo booth malfunctioned, and
Oh, that's annoying.
yeah, and it was like, it sucks I have to do this, but we couldn't do anything, and so we
Right.
had to just not be able to follow through on what we said. And
Yep.
I felt so bad, but they were like a client that we've worked with a few times, and they just they
So it wasn't their
understood.
first touch with you guys.
Yeah, so they were
That's good.
very understanding, and that helped a lot. So, but yeah, it's just when things don't go the way we want and it's our fault, I just feel so bad. Like I always take it personally, because I don't know. It's just I hate letting people down.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're working with technology every single day,
Yeah.
and that is what's
And it's always
running
making
the
me
business.
nervous sometimes. So we always want to try and have like the backup to the backup. So we're
Yeah,
always
prepared.
investing in more equipment, even though it's like sometimes we shouldn't, but it's like, I just want to be safe and
Yeah.
have that safety.
So you are in tech, you do use technology for your service and your business. What are some of the things coming out that, you're noticing, whether it's in LA or, new technology coming out, whether it's AR, VR, there's always stuff that's pushing the thing. So what's some of the new stuff in event photography?
Yeah. So a lot of the things like AI is becoming really big. There's some software that you can start doing photos and then generating a character on the spot, like when you take a person, and you could be like, make them into a superhero, and it generates like a superhero picture.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we've been seeing and want to look into a bit more and see how that would work.
I think there's a lot of stuff that's creating just different effects. As opposed to it just being like a simple picture, it's creating effects with color or graphics or
and video is becoming
huge.
A big thing too.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if you ever seen like on the red carpet on E, like have you heard of like the glam bot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they're like that equipment is just way out of our league. It's like $300,000, six figures or something just for that little robot. But I think there's manufacturers that are making like a cheaper version. So we're seeing a lot of the like robotics are coming into play with like photo booths, people implementing that. So that's something that we are kind of paying attention to because I think the AI and robotics are going to be the things that really elevate the experience. And the barrier to entry right now is really high. So just because of the cost of the equipment, but once that starts coming down, we're going to see a lot of cool things coming out. I would say in the next 3 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
With robotics, especially, just because it's getting so cheap.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much opportunity for all of that kind of stuff to happen. But I would say though that a lot of people just like the traditional photo as well. So we have like a print photo booth. And
I think I have one of my back on my phone right now from an event.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just a smaller one from like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
My wife and my kid.
Yeah.
at
Like
the
a
time.
strip.
It's a tiny, we cut it up. Everyone got one.
Oh, okay.
And threw it in there. And it was, I think you're right. Like I really like those.
The physical
copies. It's like the old Polaroids,
Yeah.
Like they just have that thing. They have that feel to them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think people will always love that. It's, a traditional.
It's just like a keepsake. It's momentum. When you are on that photo, like you cherish it because it's like your family or your kids.
Yeah.
So it's something that like, we've always said that I don't think it'll ever go away just because you'll always have those memories that to look back on when we always say when we go to an event, like what do people remember the most? Like, it could be like the band or like it might be the food sometimes or the decor, but every time they look at that picture, it like reminds them of that time. So
if you are at all following people like Gary Vaynerchuk and the Hermosis, you would have thought about branding and marketing a lot because they don't let you not, right?
Yeah.
So what's separating 6 Degrees, and what's your vision for branding your company and setting you apart from somebody who's just randomly going out and buying a photo booth and being like, hey, we do this too.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think
we came in about that.
Yeah. We came into the business thinking very high end. That we were going to make this photo booth a very high-end brand, very high-quality photos that everybody loves, very elegant setups. So I think the fact that we came in that way has really helped us because there wasn't really anything that we noticed here in the market similar to that. So we came in very high end, and I think we've just continued to push that and to provide a premium experience for people. And we're now looking to push that even further. I think we definitely build relationships with clients. I think about 85% of our business is through referrals and word of mouth, which has been amazing. We haven't had to do a ton of advertising, but we're also very strategic in how we advertise and how we market ourselves. But the really cool thing about our photo booth is that our photo booth, when it's out in the public at an event, that's advertising for us. It's showing what we do. The pictures that people take home and they look back on. That is our advertising. So we're in a really unique space.
When people
that
post
way.
on social media and they tag us, that's another thing that we do. We try to, we always ask clients, like, is it okay if we can post your photos? Most say yes, some say no. And we do respect their decisions. But a lot of times it's like, if we're at an event and there's a couple that took a good photo, that might not be like from the wedding, it's just a guest. We'd always ask him, this is a great photo. Is it okay if we can tag you guys on social media? Most of them say yes. And it's a great way for people to share. It's like, once we tag that picture and then they reshare it on their social media, and it has like our name on Instagram. So that was one of the best ways of getting people to share the events and the photos that we take. So
yeah. And our photo booths are also optimized for that type of advertising. So for a lot of our corporate clients, like, our photo booths become the marketing tool because we know that it's going to give them the reach that they want. So in particular with our digital photo booths, the way it's set up is that people will take a picture or a boomerang, and then it's optimized to be shared online on social media. So they text or email it to themselves on the spot.
Yeah.
And then they can post it right away. So there's a lot of strategic marketing built in to the photo booths that we are using.
Yeah, it takes any resistance out of the customer experience kind of thing.
Yeah. And the engagement's really high. And so the client always feels like they're getting a lot of value for their service.
Yeah. Coming into kind of the luxury space, have you guys ever had to turn down events?
Turning down is more because we don't have the capacity to take it on. So we've partnered up with some other local photo booth owners that I think meet our kind of standards, and we just refer them. So it's
worked.
It's worked.
Yeah. I mean, we're at a point where we can take on multiple events per day, but
with the hiring of employees, that's
how many events can you handle in one day?
We like to cap it at 3, max 4, just because
our team is about 4
we
people.
We have a small team right now, and we just want to always feel like we're delivering like a quality experience for every single event. And so we don't want to take on, we probably could do 5 or 6, but we don't want to, not at this point anyway.
It's a little thin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what has, I would say, what has changed from the struggles of starting the business to now the struggles of operating the business?
So the starting was just trying to find the clients, really.
So getting leads in.
Yeah. Like, how do we go about, should we advertise? Should we do wedding shows? There's a lot of decisions that were, and when we first started, it was like, we just didn't know what we were doing. So that was one of the biggest ones, is just finding those clients and getting people to know that we're out here, like, because there were a lot of photo booths before us and still are. But that was probably the biggest thing.
Biggest challenge. And then, of course, just starting a business is hard. But now it's almost harder, because now we have to keep the momentum going, and we have to build our team, and
And now that we have
invest.
payroll with some, like the employees are kind of relying on us for a paycheck. So it's like, that keeps us on our toes too. It's like, we can't just take a break and chill. It's like, no, there needs to be money in the bank. So it's like, we got to cover payroll and taxes. Like a lot of the things that, you know,
creep up on you.
You don't really think about starting a business. It's just all those expenses, the accountants, payroll, taxes, and then just buying new equipment. So because things stop working for some reason. What are the things?
You know, I actually heard this quote once that said, a lot of people think that your employees work for you, but actually you work for them. And
it's your man, Gary.
Was it? Was it him? Yeah. So, and that resonates a lot, you know, and there's a lot of team players in our company, and they see the vision with us, and they see the potential for the growth of the company. And, you know, we need to keep going in order to also help them meet that vision and to help them gain their skills and challenge themselves every day. So
one of the most important things as a employer is figuring out what strengths your employees have.
Yep.
And then setting them up for success and getting out of their way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And then just letting them, making sure that they're 1, trained, 2, know what they're doing. And then 3 is just like letting them make mistakes, learn from them, but not sink themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So it's you're kind of there while you're helping them above the water.
I'm getting there anyways. I think I was really micromanaging in the beginning.
Yeah.
Especially with the training. It's like, no, you gotta tape it down this way. And it's like, I gotta give them space. And I think it was like something with Gary. He's like, let them make the mistakes because they'll probably learn faster that way.
And it's okay to make those mistakes, right? Like, we have to accept that that's going to happen and
give them the space to grow in their own way. Because like we can't be micromanaging the whole time.
And I think what's most important is how they're going to think about resolving those mistakes. So if they keep their cool and they troubleshoot and do all the things that they're trained to do, and come out of it just fine, then it's a learning experience. It's not really a mistake. It's, you know, you're human.
Well, as the business owner, it really is a risk reward of having employees, right? Because they can make decisions that could cost a lot of money, right? Like we've had decisions that is just like $5,000 down the hole because the employee made the wrong decision. You know, they poured the concrete for us in the wrong spot, or they did it right, and you're just like, you know, breathe it out. Okay, well, hopefully this is a learning experience, right? Like write it off. Or in your case, if you know, you are using technology and cameras and stuff like that, and there's a lot that could happen to them that might not be the most. Yeah,
we've had to refund a couple of events. Yeah, like the malfunction. It's like, but
it happens. I think any business owner can't go in to entrepreneurship thinking it's going to be rainbows and unicorns
0%.
All day long.
Oh yeah, 0%.
You prepare for the worst always. I think we're really good at that too. We always think about what kind of questions or issues could come up and try to know the answer. Try to have that answer or mistake or whatever it is resolved before it actually happens so that we know.
My brother's an engineer by trade. So I kind of picked up on a mechanical engineer. Okay. So one of the things they teach them is like 6 Sigma. It's like, you know, having 6, I forgot what the way you say it, but it's like 6 things to back up. Like if something goes wrong, this will kind of reinforce it. If that goes wrong, this will reinforce it. It's like 6 ways to
contingencies.
Yeah, contingencies. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that kind of stuck with me going in here. It's like, what can we do to eliminate or minimize those things that can go wrong. We need like the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup. Yeah. So
when he's ordering things on Amazon, I don't
like
question it
order
anymore. I'm
four
like,
of those things instead. So.
That's right.
because it's better than having to go through that with a client, right? And disappoint. So
no kidding. So you're both born and raised in Winnipeg?
correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that not only keeps you in Winnipeg, but what do you love about Winnipeg?
You know what? Growing up, I really despised living in Winnipeg. Like you always, there's nothing to do here. The city sucks. It's like, but doing events and learning about everything, like and getting to know other business owners, you really start to appreciate the city and what it has to offer. I think. It's really changed the way I looked at the city. I used to really despise it, but now there's like a love for it, especially because it's such a supportive community. And we're so thankful that people and like all the vendors that we worked with, all the clients that we've had, they've just been super supportive and always helping us. Like I think they're the ones that like make this business what it is because of the support that we've gotten. So, and just seeing everything in events, especially, is just how much work, like what the type of team, like all the vendors that need to take place, all the planning that goes into putting on an event is just, it's kind of amazing sometimes. So when you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for myself, it's, very similar, but the community, growing a business here, I feel like if you can do it in Winnipeg, you can almost do it anywhere. I mean, we've had a lot of great opportunities come up. I think Winnipeg will always be home, but I mean, it would be really cool to do an event in a bigger city like LA or Toronto or something like that, just because their events are a little bit more elaborate out there, a lot more elaborate out there. They just have different connections and different brands and activations that are going on. But Winnipeg's always kind of been, like our home base, and the community and the support we've received has been really incredible.
Yeah. Is that something that's on your mind as far as expanding geographically?
We've talked about it.
Yeah. I think we always will keep it in mind, but we also have to think that in those types of places, there's a lot more competition as well. And I think we want to be the leader in our field and in the business. So that, always comes into play. But we've thought about it. We see the potential of growing and expanding, but
there's certain cities we've always thought it would be cool, like if we could retire there, but also maybe set up shop so that we can work there. It's like Victoria is one city that we like going to every year, just because it's like a smaller city, but there's also things that are going on there that we don't usually get here. So I think that would be a good market to maybe tap into. But we just don't have like the relationships, the network out there as of yet. So yeah.
You guys have been part of a lot of special events. Is there any one that kind of sticks out to either of you?
Oh gosh.
There's so many.
I don't know that we could pinpoint. We get to attend tons of amazing galas, and that are also supporting a great cause. So there's, double there. The Sea Bears.
The Sea Bears partnership was a really cool one.
Just the excitement and the...
It's got to be pretty recent, is it?
Yeah.
They just had their inaugural season. Yeah, so that was a really, really a fun one. Our team had a blast working it. Everybody loved the photo booth experience that we brought. So that was really great.
and seeing our like logo on TSN, it was like kind of cool. It was like free advertising right there.
that's
So
great.
I was like,
Very
sweet.
nice.
But yeah, I think even like True North Sports and Entertainment, like the Jets, the Moose, they've been really great partners to work with. And they've been very supportive too.
But also I think sometimes we think that the bigger events are the better ones. But even the small ones, when a small business comes and asks us to provide a photo booth, I think just knowing that we've helped elevate their business is really special too. So it's really hard to pick. I honestly can't pinpoint one.
Yeah, there's so many, and there's probably going to come up more that would come up and be like, "Wow, that's awesome!" yeah. But I think there's a lot that we can say.
I will say actually the Sephora location that opened in on Regent actually.
Okay.
It was really cool to be a part of that because it's such a big brand. And once I found out that a Sephora was going into that location, I just thought every day about how to like make that possible. How do we get in here? Because they have to have a photo booth. Like it's a beauty brand company. So we were just kind of thinking like, who do we connect with? How does this, how's this going to work for us? And then they ended up contacting us. So that was a really humble moment.
Well, you manifested
wow.
That, didn't you?
Like some kind of manifestation going on.
Yeah, I guess so. But that was, I think, a highlight for sure last year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Take me through any, what's the kind of stuff that you guys are surrounding yourselves with, learning from, is there particular mentors or books, or like what are the biggest influences that's guiding your journey?
Mm-hmm. Well, you listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's kind of a daily thing. Like you said, Lila and Hermosi and Gary V is a big one. Not as much anymore, just because we're so busy with but in the early stages, a lot of those podcasts and social media influencers were really big. Just trying to take notes of what would work, what would not work. Experimenting with things and not being afraid to make mistakes. So some books that were really influential, I would say Sam Walton. He wrote a book before he died. That was a really good book. He talks about like learning the competition and then just going in and implementing, even just straight up copying what they do, whatever works, and putting into business. As long as it works, it's like it can help elevate a business. So understanding things like that, where it's like, don't be ashamed to see somebody that's where you want to be, and then taking notice and using what they've worked for them into your business.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. It's really a huge variety. I don't really have one. Well, Jasmine Star, I listen to her a lot.
Familiar.
Oh, she's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just so passionate. Every time I listen to her, I just get a new boost of confidence. Like, if you're saying I can do it, I can do it kind of thing. Like, she's just so amazing. So I listen to her quite a bit. I wish I had more time to read. I think we'll get there again one day. So for now, I have a couple of apps on my phone that are, they're book apps, but they're very short snippets of different books. And you can tell it, the different topics and themes that you like listening to. And then it'll pull up just, quick 10, 15 minute overviews of the book. And then you don't have to feel like you're sitting there for days and days trying to read. But yeah, I think it's just pulling information from wherever, but also being careful about how much you're consuming and actually getting to work too.
Putting it into practice.
Putting it into practice is important, obviously.
Yeah. But I think being surrounded by so many other small business owners and just even big businesses, like the clients that we got to work with, just being in their presence and then just absorbing that type of energy. It's like, okay, we can do this. It's like, we can make this bigger. Like we've done events for some private events, and it's just like, like hockey players are a lot of these athletes that people look up to, and like, hey, we're actually in their house working with them. And it's just being surrounded in that environment, is just getting that energy is very inspirational.
Yeah. Or if anything, killing the false misconceptions that you've had in your head prior, as far as just what you can do and who you're going to work with and how big you can get, and all of those, the voices in the back, right? This section is called the Winnipeg Shoutout.
Okay.
It's the winning shoutout. Now, I'm going to give one. If something comes to mind, I'll let you guys do it. It is about any person, place, or thing that is in Winnipeg that has either helped you out, that you think is crushing it, places you love, anything like that. So I'll go first. Huge shout out to free advertising. It's hilarious. Huge shout out to Cody Weeb at Murray Chev. My truck, now it's funny, my truck went on the fritz. Like it just wouldn't. I do so many calls in the truck. Like that is like my time, right? It's my podcast time. It's my office time. It's all that. It wouldn't connect. Called Cody up. Cody's has the same truck as me. And he's like, I said, Cody, I really have this problem. He's like, dude, we have been diving into this, trying to figure out, but I've found a deep forum in the States that has a fix for it. Went out there, fixed it up. It was awesome. I love people who really focus on like client experience and just, going above and beyond, helping people. And just, I absolutely love it. It's actually part of, like, that is a core staple in our business, is just client experience above all else. Like people will remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
They won't necessarily remember any overages or time or, issues that you come up with, and they'll remember how you made them feel. So Cody Weeb.
Awesome.
Way to go. Way to go, Cody.
Yeah, that's the one. So if something comes up, awesome. If it doesn't, no worries.
Honestly, people who work in the events industry, I think, are just built differently. I think their passion and their drive to put on unforgettable experiences is huge. I would just say, I can't single anybody out, but all of those people and vendors and companies who are working their butts off to put on events, small or big, it's a lot of work, a lot of planning, a lot of stress, a lot of weekends, lots of late nights. They never stop. So the events industry, it's kudos to all of them, honestly.
Is there one venue that you guys have been back to more than other venues, like locations, more so than any other place?
There's a few. The Gates is one, and
Ray, the owner there, is amazing. Very, very helpful. He is that person you're talking about, delivers on the client experience, beyond, which is why we love working with them.
Ray and Nadine, they're really awesome to work with, just because they're so accommodating with everything.
Yeah. Well, they just got a winning shout out.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do have one though. I think we're always going to be like super thankful for what they've done to help with our business. Is Amanda and Tom from Cole and Canary. Yeah, I think it was them, like it was connecting with them. And I still have like that DM that I kind of screenshotted that kind of changed the trajectory of our business. And it probably to where it's at right now.
Yeah.
It was because of them. It was, how did it start? Like, it was just,
well, they were opening their first storefront in the Exchange, I think. And I think Sam had the idea of just DMing them and saying, hey, would you like a photo booth at your grand opening? And I thought, they're never going to reply to you. Like they don't know who you are.
We probably did like 2 events before this.
Yeah, I think this was like our 3rd event. Like theirs would have been our 3rd event. And I thought, they're never going to get back to you. Like, we're really just taking a chance. And he's like, let's just take a chance. Like, what do I have to lose, really?
Yeah.
And they DM'd back and said, hey, we'd love to have you. Yeah. And we went, set up.
I would say if that was the one event that we could probably... that we were super excited about. Like we were super excited when they said yes.
Yeah, they believed that we could do it and they loved it. They had a great time.
And they had this huge following too. Like their candles were in the Grammys and all. It was like, they were like celebrities in Winnipeg, right? Like,
yeah. So I think we connected with them because we thought their branding was very aligned with ours as well. And we kind of looked up to them as like a local business that was really just killing it. And then it really just snowballed from there. And we started connecting with other businesses. And then there's that trust factor, right? Once you've worked with a certain business or person, other people start trusting that you know what you're doing and they trust that they can use you too. So I think that's what happened. I think we'll just always be forever grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that, have you ever talked about, kind of your values and how they apply to how you run your business at all?
I think a lot of our values lie in being good people, being kind,
being honest,
and when it comes down to the business, it's the client experiences first and foremost, and always delivering high quality experiences and high quality photos for people. That's what they come to us for, and we can't let them down.
Which has a lot to do with being kind and honest, right? In dealing with them, right? Because they will definitely remember that. You guys knew that you were coming on. You had a chance to think about it. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or that I didn't ask you that I should have?
I'm not sure.
I can't think of anything.
Listen to some of your other podcasts and like what people say. I was like, what would be a question or something? Or...
No, I had a feeling you'd ask about how we work together because that's often come up. So you asked that one. No, I think you did great.
So, I mean, people are in Winnipeg. They're listening to this. They're working in their jobs. They're looking for motivation. They're looking for somebody that they can kind of cling on to and listen to. Of maybe this is something that they did, whether it's in photo booths or any small business or service or product or anything like that. But you guys have done what a lot of people are sitting on the fence, and what many people will never do is leave the safety and security of a paycheck to follow something that they want to do. So huge kudos to you. I think it's what a life you've decided to live on this roller coaster of entrepreneurship. And, some days you think you're a genius and the others you're looking at the rafters thinking, oh boy, what did I do now? So thank you so much for sharing what you have about your business. It's a really cool thing. I never even it's one of those things that I just, when we talked, I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool thing. I do love those things.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. So, how do people reach out to you? How do they find you? How do they follow you?
Yeah, I mean, if they're interested in booking an event or just learning more about us, they can visit our website, 6degreesphotoBooth.com, or we're on social media at 6 Degrees Photobooth, and anybody can reach out at any time.
Fantastic. Okay, well, Sam, Cristina, it was awesome having you guys on. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how big 6 Degrees becomes.
Thank you so much.